entrepreneur, coach, mentor, and REIA partner. As an owner of WiscoREIA, Jason has a passion for helping others better themselves through real estate. Jason has also founded a coaching and mentoring group to educate individuals and families on how to grow their real estate investing business and how to manage life's tasks. Jason began his real estate journey in 2010. He has flipped and wholesaled over 1,000 homes and has become a premier property investment firm in northeast Wisconsin. Let's give a round of applause for our final guest, Jason Lund.
Great, thank you. All right, I'm going to do my stuff a little different than everybody else, okay? I was sitting there listening. There's some really great sponsors here, so I'm going to take the first maybe 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to talk about them. I know we have an insurance guy here. He's not my insurance guy, but I talked to him briefly before about this. But one thing we use our insurance guy for back home is I have about 215 doors in northeast Wisconsin. We put renter's insurance on all of our properties. We pay for it. The benefit for that is that if we ever have any claims, somebody comes in and trashes one of our units, I can call the insurance guy and I can say, hey, what's my deductible on 123 Main Street for the upper unit? Because they just trashed, they destroyed all my flooring, everything else. He might come back, what is the normal deductible on that? 250, 500 bucks? 500 bucks, okay? So if you guys have rental properties and you're saying, like I know David said before, you know, pros and cons with rental units, but if you have people that are coming in and trashing your units, it's a lot cheaper for me to go to my insurance guy and pay 500 bucks and have the deductible paid, and it goes on their claim. It doesn't go on mine. Okay? 500 bucks is a lot better than 10,000, right? Okay? What was your name again? Chad? Zach. All right. So if you guys are in Eau Claire, I talked to him, he can do it. Call Zach. All right? Good? Anything more you want to add to that? You good? All right. Nobody else is taking his stuff, so who wants one of these? All right, come on. He's got more over there on the table. Nobody else? All right. Perfect. Huh? Okay. Next thing I'm going to talk about too is taxes. You ready? I didn't ask you because you already know this one. So, what we do with our rental portfolio, we have, I always tell people we run it like a hand of cards. We have twos and we have aces, right? Aces are things that we have that are free and clear, newer houses, things that we're never going to get rid of for a really long time. Our twos, they're shit properties. Stuff that doesn't cash flow. I'm sorry, I swear a lot, so just so you know, you'll hear that a couple more times. So, it's our shit properties. It's our properties that we buy. We know that we're going to keep it for a short term. We're going to level it up to another property. You work with the CPA, Eva. You call up Eva and you can say, hey, I got this piece of shit property that I want to get rid of, but I don't want to pay taxes on it. I'm going to own that property for 12 months and a day. I'm then going to call Eva and say, hey, let's do a cost segregation study on this property. She'll do the cost segregation study. Then I'll take it and I'll 1031 exchange it. Does everybody know what a cost segregation study is? Anybody not know what it is? You want to explain what a cost segregation study is? Sure. Tear it up. Perfect. So you do that year one with your piece of shit. You take that and you turn it in. You do a 1031 exchange. And a 1031 exchange is where you can change it for a lifetime property. So you can take that piece of junk that you got, that's a 2, and you can turn it into a 4. a 6, an 8, maybe an ace. You never know. But you should always be constantly looking at your portfolios. I know those guys back there talking about multifamily stuff. I guarantee if you talk to them, I guarantee they have properties that they've done this on, where they buy them, they do the cost seg, they get it up to where it needs to be, they turn around, dump it, 1031 exchange it to another property, okay? It's very important to have a good CPA on your team, so if you guys are here, make sure to reach out to her. And then I'm gonna talk about wholesaling in a minute here. The next person that's on here is Sean, one of our hosts, right? Sean's a contractor. You want to talk about wholesaling, what's important in wholesaling? You have to know your numbers. Who knows those numbers? That guy back there. What are you charging right now for a square of roofing?
500 a square including material.
How much?
500 a square including material.
500 a square including materials. Okay. Does everybody know what a square is? Yes, no? You guys got to give me feedback. Otherwise I'm going to keep rambling up here. You know what it is? Okay. It's important to have somebody like that on your team because you can pick up the phone and call right away and you can say, hey, I just looked at this house, the roof looked messed up. I estimate that it was 30 feet wide and 70 feet long. Him as a contractor should be able to calculate that number really quick, give you a number so that you can provide an offer. Okay? All right. Andrew Engel. I know he came up here and talked a little bit, but I sat down with Andrew many years ago, and he came to the REIA meeting. I love helping people. He came here and he was just like, man, I'm in my job. I kind of hate it. Really want to get into something else. He started telling me a little bit more stuff what he does. And then I think, was it that night or the next night you came? That night? Okay. So that night he says, hey, I know how to do this thing. It's really cool. And I was like, holy shit, that'll change my business. And I already do it because I have a VA that works for me and that's constantly pulling lists. Okay? So she's constantly doing this. I was paying her. And I was like, well, if you can do that, that's way better. And I can get it every single day at 4 o'clock and there's no mistakes in it or anything. So I sat down with Andrew. He's the wizard behind it. I gave Andrew all the notes from my VA and how my VA was pulling all the information, getting all that stuff. He took it from there and created it. If you guys are in Northeast Wisconsin, I always tell everybody it doesn't work because I don't want you using it because I'm an investor. I don't want you using it. It's a lie. The shit works. The shit's absolutely amazing. It's fresher than fresh. Seriously, he's talking about, hey, people are getting mail before people know that they're going into foreclosure. Yeah, that's me. People are finding out that they're going into divorce before they know. That's me. Okay? We get our lists at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything is printed that day, brought to the post office, walked in, hand delivered. The people get it the next day. Okay? That's all at the end of the day. But you have to walk in, hand deliver it to the postmaster or whatever the person behind the desk. It'll go out the next day. Okay? Stuff's amazing. He's got a, what's your special? 1 month free? Perfect. If you see him over there, I highly suggest you guys get this. Okay? I buy a lot of properties off from him. So.
He said it's sold out here though.
What's that?
He said it's sold out here though.
Oh, it's sold out here? Oh yeah. Oh, it doesn't work over here either? Yeah, I figured. All right, cool. Well, my name is Jason Lund. As you said, I've been in real estate since 2010. I don't like to talk about myself, so that's pretty much all you're getting. WiscoREIA, I love helping people. As you can hear from a lot of people here, David. David's story is really cool. He didn't dive into it that much, so I might embarrass him a little bit here. It's like, oh shit. So David was a guy that showed up at the REIA meeting, and he's like, hey dude, I'm gonna do anything I freaking possibly can so I can change my life because my life absolutely sucks and I need to do this now. And I said, all right dude, well, I got these things you can go do. And he was like on it. Out of all of my coaching students, there's no other David Nelson. You wanna talk about massive action, that dude's got it. So he did that. About 3 days later, I tried calling him. I'm like, dude, why the hell is your phone not on? I don't remember, how did I find you? I found you. How pissed was I? I was really fucking pissed. And he was like, well, I had to make the choice if I was going to eat today or he'd keep my phone on. And I said, you don't need to eat. Keep your damn phone on. You have the motivation. Let's go, right? And he's like, well, I already spent the money, so what do I do? He's the first coaching student that I've ever had that I've given money to coach. Serious. I gave him, what I give you, $100, $200 that day or something, and what would I tell you? No matter whatever you do, don't ever let your phone go off, okay? You can do all this cheap, free, easy stuff. I can teach you guys a million ways to get it. I spoke at the WiscoREIA meeting, 2 nights ago? Right after the meeting, we were, yeah, you were there. Right after the meeting, we went out to the bar. I sat there, and there was a girl that came up to me with her boyfriend, and they said, hey, we're just getting started in here. I need to get leads. We sat down, I think 3 minutes in sitting there. I think she had like 4 or 5 leads from Facebook, just me showing how to do that. So I love doing that stuff. It's super easy to do. I'm not going to teach you guys that today, but there's a lot of things you guys can do that's free and cheap to be able to get leads, okay? Part of the other thing, I've done a lot of deals. Of those deals, a lot of them have been with David. A lot of them have been with other real estate investors. Anybody that knows me in Northeast Wisconsin knows that I like to partner with everybody. Here, read this. What does that say in the bottom line?
I got a lead for us to partner on Hit Me Monday.
That's how I get that many numbers, okay? That's why I close as many deals as I do. I give back. I try and help people as much as I possibly can, and in return, I get a lot of deal splits. So that's where a lot of that stuff is. Those aren't all personally closed by me. They're not all personally flipped by me. I have a flip going on right now. Does anybody know Ashley Lang and Buck Scogan from Wausau? Okay, I'm doing a flip with them right now. I did the acquisition. I called them. They're doing the entire rehab. I'll probably stop and see it on the way back home because the project's almost done, but I do a lot of stuff like that. The reason why I do that is it keeps my momentum going forward, okay? In wholesaling, we make our money on acquisitions. We do not make any money on dispositions. Buy right, you're gonna make a lot of money in the back end, okay? Is everybody familiar with wholesaling? I know a lot of you guys are pretty familiar faces, so I know that you've seen me speak before, but does anybody not know what wholesaling is? You all know what wholesaling is? Huh? Yeah? You know what it is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Buy homes cheap and sell them to someone else.
More than that.
That's all, yeah.
That's all he's got. You know what wholesaling?
That's about what I was gonna say.
All right. It's kind of that, but yeah, you buy it cheap, you find a good deal, off-market property, turn around and you find another buyer to buy it for more, okay? You're basically you're selling your rights to the contract, you're not selling a house, okay? You don't own the house, you're not taking possession of the house, you're selling the rights to a contract, okay? So, all right, here's me, 920 home buyers. This is kind of different than my other PowerPoint because I'm doing it more on a deal that I did, more of a case study. So I am married, my wife is here. Like I said, I don't like talking about myself. I talk about myself, so I'm not getting into it. But I'll tell you, so I have Heather. A lot of you guys know her. She's been a big part of WiscoREIA from the beginning as well. She's been with me for many years. And then I have Alexis, who is my main VA in the Philippines. She's a beast. I also sold my storage units this last year, but she ran my entire facility from the Philippines, and I would talk to her for maybe 5 minutes a month tops on that facility, she ran everything else. So she's truly amazing, but she does all of our stuff. She works with Andrew a lot. Andrew just doesn't know. But she's on there every single day pulling all that stuff. She's scrubbing everything. She does all that stuff. She does all of our back end stuff like that. And Heather is like my mother. So she looks after me. She makes sure I'm good. When I come out here, she's like, do you have your hotel room booked? She takes care of all that stuff for me. She's absolutely amazing. And if I need to, she'll even take care of my kids if I'm gone. So she's awesome. You can go to the next one. All right, so in wholesaling, you got to figure out your target market, right? And then tonight, pretty much everybody else talked about it today, but I'm going to tell you guys about it too. We're going to talk about building relationships. It's huge. If you've heard any of these other speakers today, what did they all say? Build relationships, network, okay? Referrals are my number one, I guess, incoming lead that we get, okay? We're going to talk about working with the seller, we're going to talk about finding buyers, and then we're going to go to the closing table, okay? All right, I'm 920 home buyers. Where's my target market? Right there. Anything that's there, we'll buy it. We'll either keep it as a rental, we'll flip it, or we'll turn around and wholesale it. Okay? Pretty simple. You guys need to figure out your market. And the reason why it's super important to find this, I call it find your farming area, because you have to know what the numbers are. So I'm not going to dive into it, but like let's say you get a phone call come in right now and they say, hey, I got a property I want to sell at 123 Main Street in Eau Claire. What are the values there? Who knows the value at 123 Main Street in Eau Claire? Right. What's the value at 123 Main Street in Eau Claire? 100 what? 150,000? You sure? Can somebody check that for me? What is it? 123 Main Street. I don't care if it's 125 Main Street, 120 Main Street. There's something there. What's the target? What's the price there? Huh? Are you looking it up, AJ? 112. Okay, so let's just say 115. If I know my farm market or my farming area, if I get a call for 123 Main Street, I should be able to say, hey, that's a $115,000 neighborhood. And listen, huh? Jesus. All right, whatever you do, do not listen to Duplex Joe. He does not know what he's talking about. All right, what is it?
We don't care about Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But, so once you know what that is, when you're getting a phone call and your phone call comes in, if I know that the back end number is 100,000, I can instantly run my formula. I'm just like David learned from me. I buy everything at 65% minus repairs. Okay, $100,000 house, 65 grand. Needs $20,000 repair, my MAO is 45. Got it? A few years ago, when deals and things were different, I would say I want to make $10,000 on that at wholesale. So I'd get it for 45, and I would say, I want to make 10 grand, so I would have to deduct another 10 grand from that. So now my MAO was $35,000. And the reason why you do that is because I would sell to other investors, and those other investors were using hard money loans. So they didn't have a choice but to buy it at 65%. Today's market's way different. I buy them down there really low, and I sell them really high, because there's a lot of guys out here. There might be some in this room that'll pay 80, 85%. They'll maybe cut those repairs in half because they're going to do the work themselves. Whatever. So now I take those and I turn around, instead of selling it to Duplex Joe that's going to buy it 55%, I'm going to sell it to the other guy that's going to buy it 85. Okay? What happens to my profit margin? Gangbusters. Right? I think last year our average wholesale fee was like $35,000 to $40,000. Okay, and you'll see in here we've had several that have been 70, 80, 90, 100, $150,000 assignment fees. Selling the contract, no money, nothing. okay? Talking big money. Anybody have any questions on wholesaling and those numbers I just talked about? Some of you get it, and other people look like, holy shit, what is he talking about? You guys all understand? Because I don't want to keep going if you don't understand. We good? Go ahead.
So, to clarify, you're taking leads from Andrew, picking and choosing to turn around and sell it? The kind
Correct. Alexis will go to Andrew's website. She'll pull the leads off there. We process it in our house. Heather will take care of the mailing. She'll work with the mail house. The letters and stuff will get sent out. We wait for those inbound calls. Once those inbound calls come, it's a scenario that I said. I just got a phone call and the neighborhood's worth $100,000, and we start from there. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who takes your inbound calls?
Huh?
Who takes your inbound calls?
You can have a call service. You can answer them yourself. You can do all sorts of different things. You guys good? Understand it? Cool. Oh, I think it's working now. All right. So we're talking about networking and everything else. Here's my referral partners. You guys want to find people, whatever. I was kind of bad at it this weekend. Yesterday I was tired, so at dinner I ate. We left early. It's normally not me. You come to my REIA meeting, we're there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're there networking all night long. Okay? Even today, I knew I had to speak, and normally I have a beer or two before I come up here, because I'm actually an introvert, so I'm not somebody that likes to talk. But like I said, I love helping everybody else, so I'm doing it. Suffering, but I'm doing it. But WiscoREIA is huge, and the reason why my involvement in the REIA is there, because when I started in real estate, that has got me where I am today. I can't credit to anything else other than that. Going to those meetings, you know, other people putting me underneath their wings and saying, hey Jason, this is how you do it. That's what got me where it is today. By far, out of all the things that I've bought, the thousands of dollars in courses and everything else, I've gotten more knowledge out of my REIA meeting than anywhere. I can call Chris and say, hey Chris, can I come hang out with you in the afternoon on Thursday? I can go hang out with him. I can go look at his facilities. I can understand it more than what you guys did today, even though that was an amazing presentation. But I can talk to him then at that time and say, hey, you had that calculator up there. Tell me more about it. You know what I mean? You build those relationships, people will open up that thing. I tell people all the time, David, Christ, he's in my office every other day. Stops in, hey, what's going on? See what's going on. Hey, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. That's what it's all about, right? We're all here to help each other, okay? Social media groups, you guys have them over here. I don't know, what's your name? Western Wisconsin Real Estate Investors page. Powered by WiscoREIA. Get on there. There's deal flow there. People post things. People are looking for contractors. People looking for help. CPAs. They're all on there. Okay? Anything you need, they're on there. Great thing. You can even go on those groups. Even though it's part of WiscoREIA, go on the group. I do it. I'll be sitting at home bored, and Sarah will go to bed early, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to go down to the cigar shop, and I'm going to go smoke a cigar. I post in the group, hey, if anybody wants to chat about real estate, I'll be down at the cigar shop. They're open till 11. Come down. I'm going to smoke a cigar. If nobody shows up, I don't care, because I'll talk to somebody else. If you guys want to show up and talk real estate, let's do it. Do that. Chamber of Commerce. It's a really good one. So you can host chamber events. I think you were talking about that, weren't you? Tell people what those are all about.
So Chamber of Commerce, I'm from Kenosha, and I'm actually an ambassador with our chamber down there. But what we do ribbon cuttings for businesses. We do what's called a business after 5, and it's other businesses from the same city that all get together. People are drinking, having fun, but they're networking and they're talking to each other. and finding ways to connect with other businesses in the local area to help support each other.
Sweet. So if you become part of the chamber, you can do the same thing. Open up your office, right? Title company sponsors here. Do you think the title company would sponsor if you said, hey, I want to have a happy hour at my office? They'll sponsor it, right? Open up your doors. Working?
Yeah, I think it was stuck in your beard.
Oh, stuck in my beard. But you open up your doors. Title company will pay for the open house. You get all the local downtown Eau Claire businesses that will come into your place. What does that do? Who doesn't like a happy hour? You guys all like happy hour. You hate them? But whatever, you get it all in there. But the thing of it is now instead of anything else, you can now break down that barrier and you can say, hey, I'm a real estate investor and I'm not that scary guy. I'm not the asshole that puts the bandit signs out, David. Right? Because I don't. I look at bandit signs, this is part of my community. I want my community to keep looking nice. I'm here to keep improving it. Right? Sorry to pick on David, but when I sat down and did my business, I looked at all those things and I said, hey, did I used to do them? Absolutely, all the time. And then I sat and I looked at it and I was just like, man, I really hate to show up at somebody's house and they'd be like, oh yeah, I called you because you put all that litter all over the whole city. I was like, all right, I'm done doing that. Right? All right, friends and family. When's the last time any of you guys put on Facebook that you're in real estate? Never? All right, my analogy with that is, if you want to go buy a brand new truck, is it going to happen if you sit at home and sit on your couch and don't look anything up? Is it going to happen? No. So you got to get off your ass. You got to tell people what you're doing. Even if you do that once a week, you're going to get leads off of it. Right? I put on mine 2 weeks ago. Hey, I'm looking to ramp up. I'm looking to buy more deals this year. I had gangbusters of people that are there that know me and know that I've done this for how many years because I constantly am putting stuff there, but it's now a new reminder of saying, hey, oh yeah, Jason's looking for deals. Actually, my neighbor is interested in selling. I don't know why I didn't think of you and I hang out with you all the time or whatever, right? Just a refresher. So just go on Facebook. You guys can all do it right now. Go on Facebook and just say, hey, I'm looking to buy rentals. I'm looking to buy houses to flip. I'm looking to, whatever you look, storage units, you got to put it out there. If you don't put it out in the universe, it's not going to happen. We close deals off of it. Church. You guys go to church. That's another great place. B&I groups. Everybody know what those are? No? All right, B&I group is like a group. I don't ever go to them because I'm not a morning person. It was pretty rough for me to get here this morning, but they usually got like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. That's why I don't go. I like to sleep until like 9. But they're great groups. So you can go to those groups and you can join them, and you basically have one profession in that industry in that group. So like the CPA could be in there, but if there's another CPA that wants to join that group, they can't join it because there's only one professional allowed. Okay? One insurance guy that's there. And that's it. But the benefit of that group is they become tight-knit, like our WiscoREIA meetings, right? They become tight-knit. And then if anybody comes in and asks Eva and says, hey, I'm looking for an insurance person, the only person that she's going to recommend is that guy over there. Vice versa. Anybody that comes in, he's going to say, hey, you need to call Eva. That's how those groups work. It's another good way to get your name out there. There's usually 35 to 40 some people that are there. All right? Any questions on those groups? No? You guys all tired and want to go home or what? You are? Get out of here.
How do you find them?
So with social media groups, okay, everyone, it's probably going to be a bad addition, probably shouldn't say this,
Hold on a second. It's really hard to see you.
This may come as a surprise. I don't have any social media. So when I left the Secret Service, I just ghosted all social media. Plus, I probably pissed off enough people that at that point it was probably a good thing. How much engagement do you get from your social media outreach? How do you have, is Alexis Navigate any of that for you? Do you have VA input? How do you do it?
Well, I have a business page that she monitors and controls, but the input, output that I get from that is very minor. Mine is like, I jump on a podcast with you, and I get it, I turn around, I take that, and I share it. You know, any of the podcasts that I've been on, I'm constantly recycling that. And then, like, if you're in Facebook, you can go up to the top corner, and you can hit memories.
You're gonna teach me something.
Yeah, you're an iPhone user.
Ah,
Anybody know how to pull up memories on an iPhone? Yeah, there.
oh, I didn't know that.
So there. So you can go back here. So like you did this podcast February 10th last year. So if it's good content, you can just you just hit share, and you just reshared it. You're not creating new content today, but you're like, hey, this was an amazing experience, and I was so glad I was part of it, right? Constantly, you can recycle your stuff, and that's what I do. Sometimes I'll take it, like there, you're in a video, but there, if it's just something that I wrote, I'll just copy it,
Fire back.
repaste it, fire it out. There's some of those that will go back, and for like the last 8 years, I'll post the same thing for the last 8 years in a row.
I like it. I like it. You get good traction, good traffic from it?
Huh?
Good engagement from it?
Yeah.
Never knew.
Like I said, me doing that
Is nothing.
this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Seriously. 2:05.
Hell yeah. Hell
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I got a deal. I want to partner with you. Call me on Monday.
Hell yeah.
Not scripted. It's just what happened. You got to constantly be out there, and like I told you guys, is be out in front. Tell people what you do. The deals will come. All right. Anybody have a game plan for their past sellers that they work with? You do?
Well, in the past, I'm actually sent like gifts to our sellers, like around Christmas time, to keep like top of mind, at least like once a year as a touch point.
Sure. What about their birthday? What about paying attention to when you're sitting down at the table with them trying to buy their house, an event that's coming up? Hey, my daughter's going to get married in September. I need to get the house sold because I need to help pay for that. Right? Do the transaction. Send them a card that says, hey, I'm glad I worked with you, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I'm super glad that I could help you be able to make this dream happen for your daughter. What do you think that does? I call them foot soldiers. I have 1 million foot soldiers running around northeast Wisconsin. You know what I like? If I don't go to those groups, guess who they're going to talk about? Me. Right? Top of mind. There's a lot of things you guys can do with that too. If you're interested in doing more video marketing, things like that, just search top of mind. I can't, what's the guy's name? The guy that's coming to Appleton this week. Top of mind, whatever. Cindy's having it though. Huh? Chris Draper. Or not Chris Draper. I don't know, she'll look it up. But there's a guy calling with the old customer and just saying, hey, I know we did that deal 2 years ago. Just want to let you know I've increased my referral bonus to $5,000. If you know anybody that was in a situation like yours, call me. I'll pay you. I'd love to pay you $50,000 this year. Send me 10 properties. I want to buy them. Right? Invite past clients to guests, to events. We have some people that we've bought houses from that down the road have came back and said, hey, you paid $200,000 for that house. I've actually done nothing with it. I'd love to learn how you were talking about lending. All right, come with me to the next WiscoREIA meeting. They'll teach you, right?
Kyle Draper.
What's that?
Kyle Draper.
Kyle? Draper? All right, and it's top of mind selling. If you want to check him out, He's got a shitload of videos on Facebook or on YouTube. Stay up to date on company happenings. We moved to a new office. We can send out old customers, hey, we've moved, just so you know where we are. We can help you with anything, let us know. Our biggest thing too that we do is we buy real estate, but if you're a past client, new client, anything, if you need help with anything, if you need help finding a landscaper for your new house, call me. I don't have to buy your house. I want to be that person that's going to help them in anything that they possibly need, because it's the same thing. It's top of mind. Hey, I'll just call this guy. He can help me. Okay? Most people walk in as wholesalers, the crumpled up contract in their hand, and hey, I'll give you this cash offer, and you got to do exactly what I said, and whatever. And that's not how it works. You heard it the other night in Kenosha. A lot of our stuff that we do is all focused on the problem and then providing them with a solution. Money doesn't matter. We're not buying the house, we're buying the problem. We're giving them a solution. So when you're sitting down and you're talking to people when you're wholesaling or rehabbing or whatever, buying for rentals, if you sit down and you listen to them and you say, hey, why are you in this situation? I shut up and I listen. He's going to spill his guts to me. I'm going to pick out the pain points of what he needs me to help him with from what he's telling me. I provide value. Usually, most of the time, price doesn't make a difference. Somebody needs to move fast, really quick, right? I need to figure out how I can get them out of there as fast as I can. Do I need to hire a moving truck? Do I need to hire movers? Do I need to hire a trash out company? What do I need to do to help these people get out of the situation? And I can do it now. If you do it beforehand, people always ask me, they're like, why do you spend all that money and risk it? I don't. I call the title company, and I say, hey, is this property free and clear? They do their search, they say, yes, it is. I say, okay, perfect. I'll get you out of here tomorrow so you can move to Arizona, and I'll pay the $10,000 for the moving truck, and I'll pay another $10,000 for your apartment down there. And you're going to sign this little paper. It's called a mortgage. He signs the paper, his problem is taken care of. We go to closing, the mortgage goes away, he gets the rest of his money, I get the property. Okay? Take care of your clients, they'll take care of you forever. Tell them about your referral program, just talk about that, but working with a seller, understanding your role. Why do they call you? To help them, right? We're not predators, or at least I'm not a predator. I don't consider myself a predator. Do I make a lot of money off of things? Yes, I do. But the bigger the problem, the bigger the payday. Okay? Responsibilities. Tell them exactly what you're going to do. I was hoping the title company was here because I was going to pick on them a little bit too, but like my title company, I go get a contract signed. I have the customer fill out all their information on the back of the W-11. I drop it off the title company. My hands are clean. I've done everything I needed to do with that seller to that point. And the only time I should talk to that seller is when I need to set up the final walkthrough and when we're going to plan on doing closing. The title company should take everything over. They send out the first initial letter that says, hey, thanks for working with Jason. Here's a copy of your signed contracts. They get it instantly, and they know it's at the title company, right? Instant credibility. They communicate with them. They communicate with them, and then they handle the rest of the transaction. My favorite line here, I'm an option, I'm not your only option. And the last thing I want to do is come here and put you in a worse place than you already are. So if your pain point tells me that there's something I can't do, I'm not going to do it. Right? I'd rather leave that situation than say, hey, Aaron, I can't buy your house. And if I buy your house, it's going to be a discredit to you. You need to call my wife, Sarah, because she can do a better job listing it for you. Right? It's easier for me to do that than it is to me sit there and badger them down, and then before you know it, I got negative reviews all over the place. People are saying, oh, that guy's an asshole. He came in here and beat me up for no reason. So be an option, not the only one. Build relationships with them. Collaboration. Anybody here JV with their owners that they're working with? I do all the time. Come in, hey, same situation. Instead of referring to somebody else, you're in a good spot. Yeah, I mean, does the house need work? Sure. Why don't you keep the house? I'll come in, same thing. I'll record a mortgage. I'll put the $20,000 or $30,000 down. Let's rehab the thing. We'll call Sarah and she'll list it. Right? Don't have to do anything crazy. I know a lot of people in the last few days have been talking about like novations and all this other stuff. No, it's called a joint venture. And then you record that joint venture with the mortgage, and you're all good. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to buy any fancy courses. You don't need to listen to any of that stuff. Credibility. Show up with credibility. I have kits that come with me that are folders that have everything about me and my company, all my contact info, everything else. Another thing I like to do is I like to call the title company when I'm there at the table. I know what the closing costs are, but it's nice to have the title company tell them because it's instant credibility more for me. I call, they're happy to hear from me because they do a shitload of files for me, and they're happy to answer any questions that I have. So I sit there at the table, turn it on speakerphone, say, hey Becca, I'm here with David. Can you tell me what the closing costs are going to be on this single family house in Appleton, Wisconsin? She's going to say, okay, what zip code is it in? I'm going to tell her what zip code it is, and she's going to spit that number out. What does that do? Right? The other 30 investors that are outside waiting to come in the door, I just crushed all of you. If you guys were in there before me, I just wiped you out. Okay? Because all the rest of you guys are coming in there with that one little contract and saying, hey, I want to be in real estate. Will you please work with me? Right? Show up like a professional. Do what you say. You say you're going to close in 30 days, close in 30 days. Don't call them and ask them for extension. Don't do anything. If you get a house under contract, you close it. No matter what. I think those guys back there said the same thing earlier. No matter what, you lock it up, you close it. The only way you're not going to close it is all of a sudden there's like $10 million in federal tax liens or something so bizarre that there's no way you can. Close the frickin' deal. Provide resources. Just talked about that. Ask them about the next chapter. What are they going to go do? Teach them the forms. Don't just fill out a contract and slide it across the table and just say, here, don't read this, sign it. Teach them what the forms are. Tell them what they're doing. And then you also don't have to be expert, right? Same thing. I use Facebook for a ton of things. I call my foundation guy. If I don't know about the basement and I'd question it, and I've bought a lot of houses with bad basements. I call him on Facebook, Messenger, video chat. Hey, here I am. We were talking about roofs before. Hey, Sean, here I am. You see what I'm talking about on this roof? Boom. I can get him right there. He doesn't need to come out there. What does that do when you're working with the seller? Same thing, credibility. Holy crap, the dude just crawled up on the roof and he called his roofer and got him on a video chat and the roofer told him everything that was wrong with it. This guy knows what he's talking about. Okay? All right, I'm going to talk about a 3 property package that I bought. Somebody snuck me a beer up here, so I'm going to have it. Like I said, I'm normally not a public speaker, so you got to bear with me. Don't buy me beers. The last time I think I was in Eau Claire, I think I had like 14 beers or something on the table in front of me. That was not a fun night. Don't do that. I'm good right now, okay? All right, so I'm going to talk to you about this 3-package deal I got. Same thing, telling people what we do. Another investor reached out to us and said, hey, I got this package deal here. Give me a $1,000 referral. I know you normally would pay more per property, everything else. I just don't know what to do with it. Take it. Okay? We bought it. There's 2 single-family houses, and then there was a 4-unit commercial building that was included with it. I think there's a picture in here, but it's kind of shaped like an L. The 4-unit was this way, and the houses were this way on a different street. Had a shared parking lot in the back. But there's the houses. Old, kind of Victorian style houses. Pretty decent area. There's the 4-unit commercial building. And you can see in the back the roof right up here. Whoop.
Selling the deal, you're not physically touching the property yourself. You're not doing any rehab at all. You're just
Nothing.
You're just selling the purchase agreement form.
Correct. Yep. All I'm doing is assigning my rights to somebody else. So I'll get 123 Main Street under contract. I'll call Joe and I'll say, hey Joe, you interested in buying my name off of the contract? Give me $30,000 so you can take over my position. Okay? Simple. I get a contract, right, from the seller. I find a buyer. I show up at closing. There's 3 steps. What about what happens in rehabbing? You get the contract, you gotta go find money, you gotta go do this, you gotta babysit a contractor, you gotta babysit Home Depot, you gotta babysit Menards, you gotta do that. The utilities all of a sudden got shut off for some crazy reason, the pipes froze, now I gotta call a plumber, yada, 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 and I'm gonna still only make $30,000 when I could have just did the 3-step thing and I could have put 30 grand in my pocket and I could go find another one.
I'm sure you're gonna cover this, but as long as we got a moment here, you talk about the ins and outs, like legalities of, like you're saying, you're selling a contract, not a home. Just kind of going over that in overview.
Yeah, so number 1, you're not selling a house, you're selling a contract. Right? You're not selling a house, you're selling a contract. If you hold an open house on a property that you don't own in the state of Wisconsin, it's illegal. If you show pictures of that house to somebody else and you say, hey, check out these pictures of this house, you want to buy it? It's illegal. You don't have the right to share it. In the state of Wisconsin, you have to be a licensed realtor to do that. So you do that, you're going to make wholesaling illegal for all of us. I'm going to find out where you live, and it won't be pretty. So just whatever, do it on the DL. I get a contract. I work with a few different buyers that are cash buyers. We talked about the other night. My favorite buyers are the sheriff's sale buyers. Because guess what do the sheriff's sale guys do? They don't look at houses. They look at the address. They look at the comps. They close the house. They go over there and either say, yippee, I got a good deal on this one, or oh shit. But they got tons of cash. They have big balls. They're willing to buy pretty much anything, right? So I get that deal with that contract. I walk in the courthouse and I say, hey guys, I know you guys are bidding on all these other properties. I have 123 Main Street right here. I'll sell you the contract right here for 110. They're all smart, educated. They're instantly going to start running numbers in their head. They're going to say, oh, holy shit, that's a good deal. All right, hurry up with this auction because I need to go talk to Jason. There's my buyers right there. I'm not showing it, no open house, no nothing, whatever. We're done. Okay? Wholesaling was never meant for me to get a house under contract and then turn around and have an open house and run 40 million different investors in here. The people that are doing that, number 1, are scamming new investors. They're ripping people off. They're doing like what David said. What really pisses me off is they say, hey, the Air DNA says that you can get $6,000 a month for rent on this. And you're like, mother, that's the damn hood. You ain't getting $6 grand a month for this, no matter what you do to this thing. But Air DNA says it can, so they put it out there and say, hey, Air DNA said that you can do this. And you'll never ever get it. You'll overpay for that property. You'll go spend $20,000 in furniture to put in there. Guess what's going to happen? See you later. You're not going to be in the real estate space anymore because you just went bankrupt. Okay? So when you're wholesaling or buying from wholesalers, it's very important to know who you're working with. I have a pretty strong reputation in Northeast Wisconsin. My buyers know me. They know that I'm not going to try and sneak something underneath the table. It's super fast. Joe, I got 123 Main Street. I estimate there's probably 20 grand in rehab, but there's probably about $17,000 to $18,000 in basement work. You interested in buying it? He's going to say yes, because he knows me. The last thing I want to do is screw that over, and then all of a sudden he's telling everybody, hey, you know the guy that runs WiscoREIA and who runs this big Facebook group? Yeah, he's screwing people over. Be better than that.
So would you say that's the key to selling to people sight unseen?
To what?
Like, cause you're selling to people sight unseen. So they're not
Yeah.
seeing the property, they're not.
There's like, I mean, I'll sell stuff to David, or David will sell stuff to me, and we're friends. He just calls me up and says, hey, I just locked one up in Appleton. You want it? And I go over there and I look at it and I say, yeah, I'll take it. But we know each other's numbers. We've worked with each other for years, so it's just super easy. But I mean, I would do the same thing with Joe. I mean, I've sold stuff to Joe, and you know, he came back afterwards, and the properties that I never walked, we got stuff under contract, and I called Joe, and I was just like, hey, you want to buy this? What was that triplex in Oshkosh? I never was in the unit. Joe ran down there and looked at it. He walked in there, and he was just like, hey, I know I said I would give you this much, but the back room was messed up more than what I thought. So I got to give you 5,000 euros less. I don't care, let's do it. Easy. I know he's going to show up with cash. Makes the transaction really easy. All right, so these properties, like I said, they're back behind there. All these were kind of POSs, but we locked them all up for $275,000. Okay? So we got the deal under contract. We need to find a buyer. So those houses that are back there, Laura Ritchie, if anybody from Appleton knows who she is, but she bought these from us. And if anybody knows Laura, she loves these older Victorian style houses. It's more of that neighborhood. She made these things absolutely beautiful, but she does, what, midterm rentals. And she brings in executives, higher level people. She focuses on that. She redid all the hardwood floors in there. These places are absolutely amazing now. But she was our buyer on those. It's 4-unit building we ended up keeping for a year. I know we're talking about wholesaling, but I'll show you the numbers on that and you'll understand why we did. But this is kind of a piece of crap property. It was, the tenants were, you know, wanted to only pay in cash, would only show up every once in a while, you know, was constantly hounding them, hey, where's our payment, where's our payment? And finally at the end we just said, later. All right, so finding a buyer. So everybody, if they know Laura goes to a ton of networking meetings. She's at almost every single one of them. She's always there. She's always willing to help. Same thing, cash buyer. Called her up. Hey, I got these 2 houses we want to get rid of. We're going to keep the commercial building. You got to keep these numbers in mind. $275 is our purchase price. Okay, I'm going to go over it in the end, but just keep it in mind. I got these properties that you think you're very interested in buying. Yep. Same thing. Sight unseen. I know they are. I'm going to look it up on Google. She looks it up on Google and says, yes, I'll take it. I know that they're going to be big projects, but that's what she does. Anything that she buys is always a big project. It's never a carpet and paint. It's always a big project, so she's willing to take this stuff on. Okay? Finding buyers. Kind of told you guys that. Sheriff sales. Love them. Facebook groups. Northeast Wisconsin group. That's a group that's for us over there. What'd you say yours was Eastern? Western Wisconsin real estate investors powered by WiscoREIA. Each one of our WiscoREIA locations, there's a group. So if you guys lock up a deal in Milwaukee, don't think it's a dead deal. Jump in that other group. Just like that text message I got. Or Madison. Hey Chris, I got a deal on 123 Main Street or whatever. I got this property down there. I'm looking for somebody to be boots on the ground. He might say, hey, I'll be boots on the ground in it. Right? JV on it. I find the deal, he'll go lock it up. He'll find a buyer, we'll split the profits. Networking, closing. Here's a different deal that we closed on. We closed on a package of nine houses one day. But that's where we get paid. So break down the numbers. So the 2 Morrison Street houses, we locked it up for $275. Okay, so each one of the Morrison houses we locked up for $25,000 each. Okay? Figured it out? All right. So we locked that up. So we got the commercial building for how much? $225. Are those pretty good numbers on that? What do you think? I think they're amazing numbers. When's the last time you bought a $25,000 house? In the last year? You have? Oh. Yeah, they're pretty hard to find. All right, so there's a breakdown. You guys already said the numbers. So what we ended up pocketing on this deal, The first one made $80,000 on it. The second we sold it, made $90,000 on it. And mind you, we're selling paper. Never owned the house, no cash. There's no cash involved in this entire real estate transaction that I'm talking about right now. This transaction is coming from groups like this, telling people what you're looking for. Understand this? There's no money involved in here. None. How much is that right there? Just an assignment fee. 170. Who would like to have 170 grand in cash? Man, I think we're at the wrong group. Especially this table over here. Those guys are like 170, man, that's shit. All right. I'll break down the numbers with you. But, so, Wisconsin, we held it for a year, like I said. Okay? Our HUD on that one, we made $38,406.40. Throughout that entire year, we rented it out, minus all of our expenses and everything else, for $4,700 a month. Networking made us $264,806.40. Is it important to network? I'm not telling you this to brag. I've done deals way bigger than this before, and I'll continue to keep doing it. I don't need to tell you guys. You don't know me, and I'm totally fine with it. Okay? I love my life. We go on vacation all the time. I go spend my entire summer out the lake. I mean, we have a blast. We go ride side-by-sides all over the place with portioning. I mean, that's what I do. I don't care. I don't need to flex on anybody. I don't need to tell anybody that, hey, I make this much money or anything else. So I just want you to know that. So here's the numbers. You can break it down, but you can see right up there. I'm not going to use this pointer because it's going to shut off on me. But up there, 25 grand. 25 grand. Right up there, 225. Right? And then this is what our purchase is. It's kind of fuzzy, but let's see here, bottom line, assignment, contract, 90,000. Assignment, contract, 80,000. Okay? So what happens is I get this deal under contract, I bring it to the title company, get it taken care of. I don't close. You guys go to closing. Okay? Joe, you go to closing. I'm going to show up at closing after you, and I'm going to just go there and pick up my check. You can walk in there and my money. I don't even do that anymore. I worked with the title company for long enough now. I just say, hey, take those funds and go deposit in my bank account. And then I want you also to scan my bank receipt and send it back to me. Then I know it's done. We actually had one time that I told them to do it. They forgot to go deposit one of my checks. I forgot about it for like 2 weeks. Heather called me and was pissed and lit me up. So then after that, now when my checks go there, we get a scanned copy from the title company from their office, not from the bank. That tells me every single time that it's done. Okay? So here's from the commercial building. Cool? You guys have any questions? I don't even know where I'm at with time.
Let's go with 5 minutes to hit questions. That's cool.
Okay. I'm pretty much towards the end, but so I just wanted to, like I said, really the big thing is, I should add that, is the last one, but nothing into it, no overhead, no employees, no nothing. I paid for my cell phone to be on. That's it.